Hi, listener. Welcome to Books and Wine, the podcast. I'm your host, Wendy. I'm so glad that you've joined us one more time. And today's guest is extra special. Lorna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Wendy.
Yes, Lorna is here looking really beautiful. You might know her from her YouTube channel, Sip with Lornzie. If you haven't, so head over to YouTube and check out Sip with Lornzie. She talks a lot about wine. And she's very geeky about it, but she makes it very easy to consume, very easy to understand wine and enjoy. And you know, I'm always a big fan of learning about wine. So thank you for honoring this invite, Lorna. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Me too, Wendy. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
So Lorna, where should we start?
Very good question, Wendy. Should we pour a glass of wine?
I think that's right.
Oh, so that's good.
It would not be a wine thing without, without the wine. So yes.
Fantastic. So we're going to have a Cabernet Sauvignon from South Africa.
Okay.
By the famous Kumusha.
Oh.
Look at that color.
It looks beautiful. I love the brand.
Oh, so nice.
I think I follow the
Tinashe
Nyamudoka,
yes,
I believe.
Nyamudoka, yeah, the Zimbabwean.
Yes, the Zimbabwean.
Yeah.
So thank you for the wine. But I'm curious to know how you got into wine. Like, what's your earliest wine memories? How did you end up here? Sip with Lornzie.
Oh, wow, that's actually a very funny question, or rather interesting. Okay. All I can remember, I was over 18.
Yes.
That had to be said. Yeah.
No underage drinking, yes.
Yes. And I started with sweet wines.
Okay.
That's the funny part. And how the earliest memory I had about wine was when I was watching this show called Scandal. You know about it.
Olivia Pope
Yes,
and her big glass.
Olivia Pope, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I've been admiring Olivia Pope for so long. The role played by Kerry Washington.
Yes, yes.
So I was 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And I could just see how she dressed and how she could come back from work. I don't know if it was with the president.
It's all work.
It's all work. And then she would sit on this nice couch and pour herself a glass of wine in a big glass.
Yeah.
Mostly red wine.
Always like a deep, full-bodied, yeah? That's how you say it, full-bodied red.
Full-bodied, very dense, almost blue color red wine.
Yeah.
And how she could just hold a glass and take a sip. And I was like, when I grow up, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
That's the 18-year-old me.
This is the kind of opulence I'm aiming for, right?
Yes,
yeah,
110%.
Like to have a fabulous life, fabulous job and come home and just like,
yes,
pour me a glass.
Yes, pour yourself a glass and wind down, because why not?
Yeah.
So when I started wanting to be like her, so I started dressing like her.
Yeah.
I started figuring out what wine is, and that's my earliest memory. Little did I know I'll end up into this new world about so many wines.
Yes.
And so long story short, here I am. I think
a connoisseur.
A connoisseur. Certified, actually.
No, I love that you're owning that. You're a connoisseur. You have earned that title.
Yes.
So, and I think we'll come to that. What that means. Why you chose that route. Like of going to class. Getting your WSET certification.
Yeah.
Maybe you can speak a bit about that.
Yes. And so I think that's where I am. And actually I wanted to say, wanting to be like Olivia Pope. Yeah. I think I dress like her. At least my friends say that.
Look at you. Look at you. I think Olivia should be taking notes at this point because...
At least that's what my friend says.
Yeah.
And a YouTube channel later. And the certification, as you said. Yeah. So that's my journey about wine.
Okay, good stuff. So shall we?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Should we go through the basics of, doing
Yes,
this
please. Since we have you here, let's definitely take advantage and
learn more about it.
Let me get my education.
Okay, so we don't have a white surface here, but we can just bend it towards the light. We can see, we can use our books.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the beauty of being in a bookstore. Can you see that color?
Okay.
You can't see your hands through this wine, meaning it's very dark. It's a dense red, and it's a medium to high. It's a medium ruby actually.
Okay.
In terms of the color.
Yeah.
And the color of the wine can tell us a lot about this wine. It looks very young, because the more the red wine stays, the color becomes more towards the tawny, gowny, like brownish. So this is a dense red, right?
Yeah.
And then after we see our wine looks clean, we take a swirl.
Quick question. So why does it change the color because it's aging in the oak?
Yes.
Okay.
Not really even in the oak, even in the bottle.
Just the time.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. It keeps changing the color.
I get it.
Yeah. Remember, wine is a living.
It's a living thing.
It's a living thing. So it evolves in that bottle.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So we can take our swirl. Yes.
Swirl,
we are
swirl,
opening
swirl.
it out, and then we smell it. The best smell ever, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, what are you getting in the nose?
Some chocolate.
Oh wow,
I think.
Okay. Dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate. There's something edgy.
Are those like some black currant fruits? Plums?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Plums.
Plums.
Like
when you said it, like it entered my brain. Like my brain knew, like, you know.
Yeah. It's a typical Cabernet Sauvignon.
So how far do you take your nose in?
Oh, it's so nasty.
Like all the way in, right?
It's actually the whole rim has to cover your nose.
Oh, really? So there's no over. No. Okay.
You take.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, and that's a whole lot of difference. Because
Yeah.
I think I was smelling it just shyly with the tip of my nose.
Yeah.
And now I kind of like get a whole different experience, just like, you know,
Taking
dipping
it
my
in.
whole nose inside.
And take a big breath like through your nose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And am I smelling some,
What? Just say.
there's something with like grass or something.
Oh, something herbaceous, something green, yeah?
Yes. There's something
that's
like
very
with
good. It's a very good pick because you know Cabernet Sauvignon, half of it is the mother was Sauvignon Blanc, and Sauvignon Blanc tend to be very herbaceous, so you wouldn't be surprised to get some notes of the hints of grass and herbs in a Cabernet Sauvignon. So, yeah.
Okay.
So we go to the fun part and see.
Yes, let's. Before that, I can see like forming some legs.
Oh,
right?
you're taking us to level 3. Now this is the snobbiness of wine.
I thought that was the whole point of swirling so that you can watch it drip down and be like,
You know,
look at
the
that.
goal is actually, to be honest,
Yeah.
listeners and viewers, they just want to understand the basic of good wine.
Okay.
So I notice when now you get complex, they kind of lose you. And they're like, I just want to drink the wine.
Can I just?
Can I just drink it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the legs could tell you a lot about the alcohol level, and that is getting complex. That begins to get complex.
So that is another episode, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Before that, can we just cheers?
Yes. Cheers.
The tannins.
Ooh.
Another sip.
You know what I love about a Cab Sauv? Like it almost makes you want to tear. You know, like
tear?
Yeah, like like the sensation is so much. It kind of like hits
over.
you everywhere. Hits your nose, hits your
Everywhere, right? When you act like you're chewing it, it's like you're opening it up in your mouth. If you act like you're chewing it, you feel the tannins, the acidity, you're immediately salivating. After the drying effect, you salivate.
Yeah.
If you can feel it.
Yes.
And then the alcohol is just in the finish down here. And then you can feel the fruit flavors that you're thinking about. I mean, that you are smelling. Yeah.
I'm never going to drink a Cab Sauv the same again.
Oh, that's good to hear. But yeah, it's a very nice bottle.
Yeah, but you said it's young, and I can kind of, my saliva is not kicking in. I can kind of like taste from the, from the wine that it's not very aged, right?
Yeah.
But I think part of why I just wanted us to have this conversation is for anyone listening or watching this to pick up some, some hints on how to judge wine, because not everybody is gonna go do a WSET and frankly not everyone needs even to be a connoisseur, but I believe everyone needs some like basic wine knowledge, right? To be able to navigate the wine aisle. Like when you go to the wine aisle, you see so many wines, so what am I looking at? You need to be able to answer that question. And I think one of the things that always fascinates me is the labels.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so how do we go through the labels beyond the name of the wine? When you see what's this information?
Okay.
Yeah.
To be honest, after level 2 certification later, I still struggle. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you can pick from a label, and you can see today I selected 3 bottles of wine here.
Yeah.
2 are from South Africa and 1 is from France, the region of Bordeaux to be precise.
Okay.
So when you're walking down that aisle, it's very chaotic, to be honest.
Yeah.
And to make it worse, in a supermarket,
yes,
the line manager wouldn't have any idea about that wine. That's such a shame.
Yeah, it's true, because they have so many products. They're also selling soap and so many other things. Yeah.
That's why being in a wine shop, for instance, a specific liquor store that at least you can get someone who can help you navigate. Yeah. So in a label can tell you different stuff. Okay. And the first thing a label will tell you, it's the grape variety. So when you can see, and not always. Yeah. As you can see this wine, you can see it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, right? Yeah. It's written there. When you look at this, it's written a Pinot Grigio.
Yes.
And when you look at this, it's written a Bordeaux. Yeah. So come on, if you don't understand what a Bordeaux is, you'll be like, what the hell is this Bordeaux? Yeah. Like, just tell me what is in. Yeah. True. Right. Yeah. So based on these 3 differences here, you can see the New World wines, and by that I mean regions like South Africa, Argentina, any
outside Europe,
outside
right?
Europe, yeah.
Okay.
They have simplified it. They're like, you know what? Let's just.
I'm gonna tell you what is in the wine, right?
What is in the wine? Yeah. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
This is South African as well, right?
Yes,
the Pinot Grigio.
South African. Okay. Same to Kumusha, and this is a Bordeaux. Very classic. Even the labeling looks very classic. And probably this label looked the same many years ago. So they tend to be very reserved, and they will label a Bordeaux as a region. This is the region. And ideally, the region has various types of grapes, and mainly a Bordeaux blend will be a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. Okay. But an average consumer wouldn't even know that, right? Yeah. But the moment you see Bordeaux, just think of the region. Yeah, just know it's in France. It's a French wine. Yes. From the Bordeaux region. Yeah. Yes. And New World wines have made it easy for us. So that's the first thing. You look at the grape variety. Yeah. The second thing is the alcohol level. Okay. So if you look, every bottle for sure will have an alcohol level.
I think this is the first step. Like how much alcohol is in this thing.
Value for money, right?
I know.
Like that is that.
This is 12.5.
This is a 13. The one for Bordeaux.
Okay.
And
the one we're sipping on.
It's 14.
So the Kumusha is 14%. Yes. I knew you chose the one.
You know, you chose the one with higher alcohol.
I did choose the best one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what alcohol percentage will tell you? Normally, most wines with high alcohol level will be between 13 to 14%. Okay. And when you see between 13 to 14%, you expect a full-bodied red wine, for instance. So you'll expect something very full. And it will be red wine mostly, and again, very young at least, not too old, but a bit young.
Is it that when it ages, it loses the alcohol percentage, or?
When it ages, really, okay, but for a wine to be categorized as a wine that could age, it has to have various different criteria. So, for instance, high alcohol level so that it softens over time. Same to high tannin so that it softens. High acidity to soften. Those are the criteria.
I see. Okay, so the aging is supposed to like make it better.
Yes, make it better and softer.
Or make it, improve the quality, etc.
Yes.
Okay, back to the labels.
Yes, back to the labels. So when you see a 14%, you think about something very full-bodied wine. And then when you look something like 12%, you expect high acidity in that wine.
Yeah.
And very young as well, like very light in body, very light body and high acidity.
Yeah.
Most chances. So
Okay.
at least the alcohol percentage will give you an idea of
what am I getting myself into?
what am I getting yourself into.
But
yes.
you know, because I've been watching Sip with Lornzie,
Oh.
I saw something that you did at the supermarket,
Oh,
which was to take a bottle and scan it
yes.
on an app.
Yes.
Do you want to give up that handy hint? Like, you know, like what is, you know, the kind of information that you can get? What was this app? You know, spill the tea.
You better go watch my video. Other than that,
Yeah.
I think really scanning a wine, because it's so cluttered, let's be honest. There's so many options. And I use Vivino. I know Vivino is for professionals, but it's for consumers.
Yeah.
And I believe consumers are the truest tests of anything.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to make sense to the person drinking it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a handy shortcut,
yes,
right?
always scan, and then you'll see the ratings, you will see the tasting notes, the nose, and then you'll be like, you know what, I can do this. I can't. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I guess because, like, if I get a bottle and it says Bordeaux and I don't know what Bordeaux means and I scan it and it will give me that information.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, good stuff. Technology, who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought? Exact more, yeah.
Yeah, and I think because the other thing that I always want to find out, or people ask me from time to time, is like, does the price of the wine, does it mean like if I buy a very expensive bottle, does it translate that I'm buying a good wine?
Ah, okay. Very good question, actually.
Yeah.
When it comes to wine and the price, first and foremost, I think every winemaker is trying to make a beautiful wine for the consumers to drink.
Yeah.
And a very expensive bottle would be expensive for various reasons, mainly through the making process. For instance, if the bottle is a bit big, like this one, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a bit big and heavy. There's a cork, the labeling, the attention to detail. There's a pant here. It's not like massive, but there's a pant. And it's a Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Bordeaux is a region that's known for very expensive wines in the world.
Okay.
So it would, based on the wine making process, the aging, like they're probably aged it in oak barrels versus someone who has just put it in oak barrels for 3 months.
Yeah.
And someone
Or
who has put it
steel.
or steel tanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see, the cost of production already there's a difference in it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can determine an affordable wine. Let's not say cheap, affordable.
Affordable, yes.
Affordable wine versus expensive wine.
Yeah.
When it comes to also the tasting notes of expensive, it would be nice to do a blind test. You do like,
ooh, that would be lovely. Yes. Like, okay, here is a 10,000 bottle of wine, and here is a 2,000.
or even a 1,000 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And then you pick.
Oh my
which one.
gosh, I think, yeah.
That can be a tip, right?
Yes,
Then you
that
can
would be
answer for yourself. Yeah, but I think in terms of flavor and tasting notes and nose and the experience, there's a bit more what a 10,000 shilling bottle of wine can give you compared to a 1,000 for sure.
Most definitely. Yes. I mean, like Mercedes and a very handy Toyota, you will still get where you're going.
Exactly.
But how did you get there? How was the AC?
How the experience?
You know, were the seats warmed or were they not? You know?
Yes, that's the difference.
Okay, okay. Okay,
Cool.
good stuff. So I guess, but generally, like if I'm at the aisle, what are some of the things that I can just pick out besides the price to kind of like tell me, okay, this is worth of my money? Yeah. Like,
oh wow, that's
like
an
top of
interesting
your
question. top of mind. I'd always bring out my app Vivino. It's very handy.
Yeah.
Because reviews really matter.
Yes.
And people, if I've not tried it before, someone else might say this was very high in acidity. This was full bodied, and I'll pick what's best for me and whatnot. I barely look at the price.
Thank you for saying that, because I've always like been a believer that, you know, our palettes are different, and I guess we'll also touch on that when we talk about books as well. That what you will like, it's not like a testament on the quality of the thing. It's just your taste in it. because sometimes I would love a book and somebody will be like, oh, what was that?
Exactly.
And same with wine. So I guess maybe the challenge is for somebody to find their palate, right? Like find what works for you.
Find what, exactly as you said with the book, same as wines, we are living organisms and our microbiologies are different. What you smell is not necessarily what I smell. And what you taste is not necessarily what I taste. Yeah.
Can you say that one more time? Because I think that's really, that's at the heart of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you smell is not necessarily what I smell, and what you taste is not necessarily what I taste. So there's nothing snobby about wine. When you see people in a room and they're like they're saying forest floors, whetstone, and all you can feel, it's just cut grass. It's okay.
That's your nose.
That's your nose.
And it's not right or wrong.
There's no right or, actually there's no right or wrong.
Like I just feel so liberated at this moment. I'm like,
Let's debunk all these myths about wine has to be for certain. No, let's just make it easy and approachable.
And find the taste that works for you, and find the palette that works for you. Find what you like. And that also might change with time, don't you think?
It's changing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because sometimes you find that you like some things at a certain season. I know earlier you were telling me that last year you were reading predominantly psychology books.
Yeah.
And you've sort of found what you wanted in them, and now you're reading a different genre.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess that also like in wine happens, right?
Funny thing, when it's hot, you gravitate towards the rosés and the whites.
Yes.
When it's cold like now, you just want your red.
Yes.
You just want to hug it.
You want that deep Merlot, that that Cab Sauv, and okay, great.
Interesting, yeah.
On to a bit of some book banter.
Yes.
When we were speaking earlier, you mentioned that last year you were in a psychology books phase, and that you're no longer in that phase now, and you're reading a different, different kinds of books. Why? What do you think we're always, gravitating to certain kinds of things? And what are some of the things that you can tell us, you've learned so that you don't have to read the big psychology books?
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Tip, use audiobooks when it comes to very big, heavy books.
Yes.
It's easier to get through it.
Yeah.
And
less intimidating, right?
Less intimidating, yeah. And it's easier to hear the voice rather than just hurried big words, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I was earlier saying, we tend to read books to look for answers. And I said that you tend to read books about love, about heartbreak experiences, when you feel like you're going through it and you want some answers.
Yeah.
And I was into psychology books last year, mainly because it was a very tough year. Personally, for me, it was.
Yeah.
And you tend to try seek wisdom from the older guys.
Yeah.
Like Paulo Coelho here.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
They have gone through some things in life, and they can be able to offer some advice or two on the tips about going through. And that's why I was really into it. And it gave me so much, not necessarily all answers, but some guidance to how to go through it. Yeah.
And it kind of clarifies where you're at. And then at the very minimum, it kind of offers some sense of community, right?
Yes.
Because if you know that
I'm
not the only one.
You're not alone.
I'm not the only one.
Yes.
And if this person made it through,
Yeah.
then perhaps I'll also make it through.
Yeah.
So again, maybe for my case this year, I found myself like gravitating a lot towards finance books. I guess because I am wearing new shoes.
Oh wow.
I'm running a bookstore, and part of that comes with like financial management and all that kind of a thing. So I'm finding myself having to, teach myself a lot of things.
Yeah.
And one of the books that I was mentioning to you earlier that I just finished is called From Monk to Money Manager. Why everybody needs to be wealthy or a little bit wealthy, and why that's okay.
Yeah.
And And yeah, so I kind of started reading. I've read that. I've read Atomic Habits.
Oh, Atomic Habits,
which is
clear.
Yeah, which is about like how do you make habits that stick, and not scary ones like, you know, run 10 miles tomorrow.
Exactly.
No, it's walk 10 minutes every day and add 10 minutes the next day and the next and the next. And soon enough, by 3 months or whatever, you're gonna be running 10 miles.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny. Do you think we all tend to read the same books at the same time in the market?
Ooh, yes.
Because you said you're into financial books, and I told you, oh my God, this year I've been into the financial books as well.
Yeah, and you know, could it also be that we are sort of maybe dealing around the same things? Because you see, everybody is coming from a really stressful, trying financial period with COVID and all of that. Everyone has been either affected or knows somebody that's been affected. And generally, being in a depression, you're sort of, in a yes, it's called a depression. It's a financial depression, You're trying to kind of figure out, we're sitting right here in the middle of an inflation, prices have skyrocketed, so I guess money is top of mind for everybody. So
it's like a wave, right?
Yes, it's like a wave. We're all humaning around the same things.
Yeah, true. We're all, and as a bookstore owner, like, do you always know this is a wave coming? How do you plan what to stock?
Oh my gosh, that's an interesting thing. So we were always very perceptive, or we try to stay perceptive to what people want, what's new. Customers are very volunteering, like about what they want, the things they want. So if you have a listening ear, you will kind of know, because people will tell you, this is what I want.
You get a wave, you get a word.
Right, But you're reading something that's not finance, not psychology. I see you have a very cute book.
Fiction,
that's matching your outfit.
Oh, yes, guys.
Lady in red.
I read sometimes. Actually, I read a lot. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Now they do.
Now they do. They have an idea, cool, I'm reading. I read this book last year, in all honesty. It fell under my category of books last year. And my God, I don't even know where to start.
Paulo Coelho.
How?
I haven't read the book yet. This particular book, but I've read Paulo Coelho, and so I get what you're saying.
The Alchemist. You read The Alchemist?
Of course, I read The Alchemist, and I was like, what is this tiny book that has just like,
like gone viral or something? I think you need to read it, and I think can I say now what are the things that?
Yes.
Highly recommend. Number 1, a solid 8 over 10.
Wow. Good.
Yes, very relatable as well. And a few things came up for me. And he was discussing about personal growth and everyday wisdom and joy, about life, just various aspects of life. And it was like, it's a bit of a fiction as well. And guys would ask various questions, and then he answers best out. It brings out very well in the book. So the first area that it caught my eye, and I really related to, was someone to tell us what you do when you feel like you're too afraid to change. And I feel like we are all victims.
So the title of the book is Manuscript Found in Accra by Paulo Coelho. I'm saying this for anybody who's who's not on the YouTube channel, which I already said you better go back and watch the YouTube channel.
So the book, I don't even know. I just need to read this to you, man. Like,
please do.
I need to read those parts, because I don't think I would say it much better the way he says it.
Okay.
So for guys who are afraid to change, and I think we are mostly culprits, and he says, we are afraid to change because we think that after so much effort and sacrifice, we know our present world. And we like to, we are comfortable with familiar.
Yes.
We don't want surprises.
Yes.
Just like, I'm just okay.
I've finally figured this out.
Yes. And I want to be in a zone where I can anticipate, even if something different is thrown my way, I know how I'll handle it. But just think about it, like, change is inevitable and change is constant. And I think we just need to let go.
Yeah.
And just let the waves, just let's go with the wave. When we're supposed to change, just change.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I caught. And actually, that's one of the reasons I feel like I decided to do things differently this year.
Yeah.
Initially, my personal page, I have 100 followers.
Yeah.
And from that to starting a whole YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And an open Instagram page and putting my life out there. That's bold, you know.
You see the gems you were denying the world.
Come on, Wendy.
I mean, you know, and I think we can speak a little bit on that. Like, what is this resistance? Is it that you're always like, I'm not there yet? Maybe I'm not where I need to be so that I can step on this podium. So you kind of postpone that.
In all honesty, I never thought I'd do anything like this. I just woke up one day and did it.
And I think I saw that
first YouTube video.
Yeah, like, you know, this is 28th January. I don't know why I have the timestamp in my head, I guess.
Oh, wow.
But you know,
such
like,
a loyal follower.
And I'm starting, like, it's not perfect, but this is a start.
Yes, just start.
Yeah.
You said it in a nutshell, just start.
Yeah.
Whatever scares you, just start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that, and I at this point I don't even want to speak about the book that I'm reading because
you need to. Let me just say one more thing.
It's not a TED Talk.
And then now I finish on my book, and then you tell me about that book because I really want to hear about that book. Sawa? So it's about elegance.
Okay.
Speak to us about elegance. And when someone asked that question, guys in the crowd were like, why are you asking? Is that even a question? But let's be honest, that's bold. You know, people would be scared to ask what is elegance or what is beauty. Yeah, right?
And those are eternal questions.
That's an eternal question.
I mean, those are eternal questions. If you think about like the big industries, that's what they're trying, that's a problem they're trying to solve for you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And not even just like the superficial beauty.
Oh, yeah.
But even like the intrinsic beauty, art. Isn't that beauty,
elegant,
right? Thank you.
Yeah.
But yes, proceed.
And what caught my eyes is that the simplest things in life are the most extraordinary. Let them reveal themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And he says, the desert only has the sand and the rocks, but it's at its truest self. And it's gorgeous, it's elegant. Then another thing he says, it's the sea. It's just like a flat blue bed.
Yeah, it's just water.
It's just water, but it's elegant.
Yeah.
Same to the snow, it's only white.
Yeah.
When a gazelle runs away from a lion, it just runs elegantly. I mean,
Yeah.
you get what I mean?
I know, oh my gosh.
Yes, and that's what he says. Elegance, it's very simple. It's the simple
It's the essence of the
yes.
of the thing.
Yes, and he goes ahead and says, arrogance complicates words because it believes that intelligent is only for the chosen few, right? But elegance transforms complex thoughts into something everyone can understand, like wine.
You know, I was about to say, I can see that with Sip with Lornzie.
Oh, thank you.
You know, like here is this big monolith, this scary thing that's the world of wine. But you break it down in such simple, easy to bite kind of things. Like it brings it home and you get it.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing that.
Thank you too. And
yeah,
I recommend this. That's all I want to talk about. You better read this book and everyone else.
I am convinced.
Yes.
I am definitely convinced. But currently I'm reading a book that has me introspecting. So it's called Every Family Has a Story by Julia Samuels. And
oh wow,
so
that's deep.
Yeah, so the author, actually, yeah, it is. So families matter and every family has a story. A history of connection as well as wounds and hurt. A story of love and loss, joy and pain. And they go on to say, why do some families thrive in adversity while others fragment? How can families weather difficult transitions together? And what small changes can really impact our relationships? And so the author is a therapist and so has a center stage, like they have access to all these human experiences. And so they thought, why don't I put together a book with a couple of portraits of families navigating difficult things.
Yeah.
Because like you said, change is gonna come.
Yeah.
And we all come from family. And whether you love yours or you don't, it's still a big part of who you are, and it influences how you are, you know, how you navigate the world, what kind of relationships that you form. So I think at the heart of it, it's the kind of book that everybody can read and either find themselves or have some empathy, some compassion, or even find, you know, hope or some tips that you can implement in your own family, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting, like just to see other people really navigating big things.
Yeah.
But I guess at the heart of it, it just illustrates that no family is perfect.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Actually, no. We just tend to be, there's this...
Especially the ones that look perfect. No family is perfect.
No family is perfect, guys.
Because no human is perfect.
No human, exactly.
Yeah.
And you just said that, and I've remembered I was recently in a friend's traditional wedding, and the house, it had this sign written.
Yeah.
From the outside, we are this perfect, nice family.
Yeah.
And I could resonate 120 times.
Yeah.
From the outside. So people think, oh my God, that family is perfect. But guys, no, every family has its own issues, and embrace yours, and now change if you have to.
Yeah. And I think what matters at the end of the day is that the people in there love each other and want the best for each other. And most importantly, have the courage to, you know, to make the necessary changes. I think that's all that matters, because like if you even look at like wounds and hurts that we carry from family members or from people that we love, it's most times it's not intentional, but there's always the lack of courage to address it.
Yeah.
And so they fester, and then, you know, they become monsters.
Something else. Yeah. 100%. That's very good. I think it's a very good book.
Yeah, it's a kind of book that I'm just thinking, should I call my long lost estranged cousin?
100%. And figure out and make it, because life is short.
I know, life is short.
Yeah.
Life is definitely short.
At the same time, life is long. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
An oxymoron for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting how like the books meet us maybe somewhere where we need to be, or they bring to you what you need at the time. And so are you willing to receive it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
So not to self.
Not to self.
Yeah. No, I'm saying not to myself. Not to I'm just preaching to myself at this point.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That's true.
So,
yeah.
So thank you so much, Lorna, for coming in and having this really insightful conversation with me. I think I've taken a lot of notes. I would definitely pick up manuscript found in Accra. I don't know why I keep saying, in my head I'm thinking Ghana. Manuscript found in Ghana, because that's how I've saved it in my head. Look at me. But yeah, thank you for doing this. And how can people find you? How can people you know, learn more from you? Because I think keeping up with Lornzie. Yeah, because I think this has been really insightful.
Yeah, actually, I'd like first to say thank you, Wendy, for reaching out. It's a pleasure. It's an honor.
Yeah.
And just meeting you, chatting about books, and of course I've picked a book that's gonna be my next read, and having this beautiful bookstore. Guys, can you see that? Or can you hear that? It's gorgeous.
I mean, the vibes are already translating into the audio.
Oh yeah, and thank you so much, and looking forward to always having you more.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you can feel free to follow me on YouTube and Instagram as Sip with Lornzie. I talk about wine and also make funny reels about wine. relatable though, very relatable.
Yeah. And relevant.
Relevant
like,
as well.
especially because I think that a lot of wine places that I follow, they are not in Kenya, and so you kind of feel like, okay, what am I gonna do with that information, right?
Okay.
But so when you follow Sip with Lornzie, you know when she shows a wine, you can pop into a Chandarana or wherever
And
you
you
buy your
get
wine,
it.
and you'll definitely get it.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening this far. If you're joining us for the first time, definitely follow us on Instagram at Books and Wine KE, on Twitter, Books and Wine KE again. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast and share this episode with a friend.